Hello Life Engineers, welcome to the YouTube channel of the Life Engineering Foundation. Daily personal school for all those who would like to take the responsibility of their own education in day-to-day life. So let's get started. So in the series of A to Z of education, we have till now discussed about A to E. So today in this video, we are going to discuss the sixth alphabet of the English language, which is F. F for fundamentals of learning. So as a parent, we all want our children to learn. So what are those bases on which the learning should actually happen? Have you ever thought about it? In this video, we are going to explore this aspect of F for fundamentals of learning. In India, the formal education is generally seen as a key to safe, secure and prosperous life. But there is a shortcoming that how exactly schools in India and rest of the world approach education. Many of the schools or the regular education system is focusing on the skills which are already absolute, and unfortunately we are neglecting the main essential aspect of life skill, which is the ability to educate oneself. Whether child receives education through normal school, traditional schooling method, or whether the education happens through homeschooling or mix of both, it is very important that the learners must have ample access to the fundamental resources without which the learning is impossible. Now let us understand that what are the fundamentals of learning. At the Life Engineering Foundation, we have done research and we have come to the conclusion that there can be four major pillars, or we can say fundamentals of learning might have four aspects under which the learning should happen. The very first one is exposure. Second one is inspiration. Third one is access, and fourth one is the most important, free time. See, if you want to expose your child to something, then the child will just get exposed to something just by being there or just by being alive. Okay, and with the most basic exposure and instructions, children easily and naturally learn how to read, how to write, how to do basic math, etc. Nowadays they also learn how to operate computer, smartphone, etc. So with just by being there, if you just give exposure, then it is very easy for a child to learn certain skills. But at the same time, there is much of the world that they will never discover until and unless a parent or teacher shows it to them. So under the first fundamental of learning, we could say, if we are talking about providing exposure to the child, then what are the kind of questions a parent must ask himself or herself? So the kind of questions here under exposure are, is your child being exposed to the new ideas? How about meeting new people, cultures and ways of thinking? And the last question can be, are they being exposed to different ideas than all their peers, so that they can differentiate themselves in the future job market because of their unique understanding of the world? So these are the three major questions which one should ask under fundamentals of learning. Now comes the next thing, which is inspiration. Under inspiration, there are these of the questions which a parent should ask. Now let us discuss it one by one. Is your child inspired to educate himself, or are they just doing what they are forced to do? The next question is, are they learning to love the process of learning, or is the joy of learning being stripped away from them through the memorization of meaningless facts? The next question is, are they being trained to be curious, investigate and experiment, or to take standardized test, or whether they are just getting trained to take the standardized test, which do little to prepare children for the real world where no such standardization test exists. Under inspiration, what we generally say is, once child knows that something exists, then he will only try to seek it only if he has the self motivation. So they will only truly educate it themselves if their motivation comes from within. So there is a myth that it is possible for a human being to educate another human being. Okay, children cannot be educated, they can only be inspired to educate themselves. So at Life Engineering Foundation, we truly believe that we cannot really educate somebody, but we can inspire somebody to educate themselves by providing right kind of environment. Now comes the third fundamental of learning, which is access. Now, as far as access is concerned, Mark Twain said, travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it solely on their accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of the men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime. So questions to ask under access are, does your child have extended access to the internet and they have been exposed not just to the games, entertainment and social media sites, but also to the wealth of blogs, publications, tools and research works. The next question which we should explore here is, do they have regular access to other individuals of all the ages and backgrounds on a daily basis, or are they getting practical experience dealing with others in real world environment? And the next question in the access comes, do they travel? Even if you're not able to travel internationally, does your child go with you to new places that are nearby, and do they spend most of their time at home in a too much comfort zone, in their own comfort zone? Now comes the next fundamentals, which is free time. Now, too many children leave for school early in the morning, they come back in the evening, they have homeworks to do, they have tuitions to attend, and the day just goes. So there is hardly any free time to explore what they really like to do, or to explore their personal interests. They hardly have free time and free mindset. So the question to ask here is whether your child is having enough time. And children may have access to knowledge through a website like Wikipedia, but there is hardly any time to explore that knowledge, and that's why this limits their access, because the process of random exploration and discovery increases action. In addition, a child without free time does not have time to socialize with family or friends in a natural and healthful way. So the questions under free time are, does your child have free time every day? Not just a few minutes here and there, but hours together. The next question is, do they have the freedom to discover what they really have interest in? Or are their days so cram-packed with school and other activities that they are becoming an automation and merely following orders about the next activity to be performed? So to say the conclusion about fundamentals of learning, I would say not every student learns in the same way. The understanding of the fundamentals help the children to learn to educate themselves and be able to cope with the rapid pace of change and secure the most stimulating, important and lucrative positions. So this was about fundamentals of learning. So as a parent, it is very important that we take into consideration what are the fundamentals of learning and how exactly the learning should happen, and the 4 pillars of the learning. And to conclude, 4 pillars or 4 fundamentals of learning are exposure, inspiration, access and free time. If you can give combination of all the 4 to your child, then the learning of your child will happen in a perfect manner. With this, we have finished F for fundamentals of learning, and next video is coming up about G for group learning. So stay tuned till then. I hope you all liked the video. If you have liked the channel and if you have liked the concept of the Life Engineering Foundation, then do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you get updates about the upcoming video, and the upcoming video is going to be G for group learning. So let's explore in the next video. Thank you very much.